I'm Anthony from Hatchesnet, and you're watching 10 Questions. Today I'm here with BaCon, the administrator of TFormers.com. I will ask 10 questions about his experiences in the Transformers fandom, as well as what led him on to that path. Hi, BaCon.
Hey, how's it going?
I have no words to answer that question with, but I do have 10 questions. And if at any time you leave an opening, I might ask a follow-up. Are you ready to start?
I am.
Okay, so the first question is, what entertained you while growing up?
Probably like a lot of people around my age was cartoons. I watched tons and tons of cartoons. It didn't matter what cartoons they were, as long as I got up and they were on Saturday morning and in the afternoon after school, I watched them. I also played with G.I. Joes, these big 12-inch guys, the Adventure Team. Woohoo! It was very interesting because these guys that I started playing with, little by little, got me interested in these guys. The Henshin Cyborg, which is made by Takara, which, if you didn't know, eventually became this guy. The Micronauts, which eventually became the Transformers, and here we are.
Okay, so what made you decide to collect Optimus Prime figures?
Well, like a lot of people, I started out early in the late 90s collecting stuff, and I actually began with the Beast Wars as my introduction to Transformers, and I collected all the Beast Wars, and then I went on a mission to collect all of the G1 toys, and so by the middle of those, that was a doable thing. But as soon as the movie came out, it went off the rails, and there was so much to collect. I got to a point where I had to decide what I really loved, and that, for various reasons, became Optimus Prime. So I focused on Optimus Prime.
I mean, collecting, well, see, we're talking, what, Beast Wars 96, 98, somewhere around there. And you start collecting G1, which is already a decade old plus. That could not have been...
We're going on 25 years this year. Here we are.
And that couldn't have been cheap to go back and hit the back catalog. I mean, at 10 years, probably not as bad as it would be now.
Well, I bought them as they came out in the store, so I was lucky. I had the joy of seeing all that Kenner stuff in there as it came out. I was actually really fascinated with computer graphics, and at the time I was working with Silicon Graphics computers, so I was just seeing that show. I didn't even know what Transformers was. I watched the Beast Wars because of my interest in computer animation, and then right away I became fascinated with the show, and then again, here we are.
Okay, so how far back does your Optimus Prime collection go then, year-wise?
Well, that once I really kicked into gear, and that was actually supplemented or kickstarted because of this Super 7 magazine. This is actually the BaCon special edition cover, but if you bought it on the newsstands, the magazine would have come out. And I did this feature on 20 years of Optimus Prime that we began in there. So at that time, this was, here we go, here's some more pages of this. You can actually see this online if you like. I'll make sure you get a link if you want to share it with people. So at the time, we thought, hey, how are we going to, we're 20 years into the Transformers now. Let's go and look at all of the toys that were made then. So I have everything starting from the Diaclone, original Diaclone Battle Convoy. I wish I had a powered convoy, but I have the Takara powered convoy that was made later. And then I have, over the years, tried to fill in pretty much everything I can since. And it's kind of gotten wild and woolly.
So, what was your first Optimus Prime then?
Actually, my first Optimus Prime was an Optimus Primal. I didn't.
Well, because there was what was there? There was the original monkey, and then there was the Transmetal monkey, and then there was Optimus Primal.
It was the Transmetal monkey. I was actually at work, and somebody told me about eBay. I didn't start collecting the toys right away. I didn't become a toy collector till the later 90s. Somebody told me about this neat thing called eBay. I think it was 99, 98. I don't even remember when eBay.
I've never even heard of it, but go ahead.
So anyways, it was very rinky-dink, and I said, I'm going to buy something, and I went and I bought one of these. It wasn't this exact one, but I bought a Transmetal Optimus Primal because I love the show, and it was the first thing that I could think of coming up, and that it didn't take long. I started buying as many Beast Wars as I could get.
Yeah, because I ended up getting Optimus Primal and Transmetal Megatron, which Transmetal Megatron broke late last year because of gold plastic syndrome.
Yes, that's
yeah, he just split in half when I was transforming him. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I was there. There's a lot of problems with the gold stuff early on.
Yeah. So, what is your most recent Optimus Prime figure?
Oh boy, most recent.
Is it Earthrise? Is it Siege?
Yeah, actually, it would be probably the Earthrise leader class.
Because for those who are watching, in what was it? Early January 2021, we did a show about you said right now at that time the Earthrise one was your favorite one thus far.
Yeah.
Maybe you're like me and you're like, well, your most recent is your favorite.
Actually, the one I got just yesterday was the Shattered Glass with Ratchet set. So that would probably be my most recent acquisition.
Okay. So how many Optimus Prime figures are currently in your collection, and do you have like a goal, like once I get to 500, I'm done? Or have you exceeded 500?
I actually don't have a count. It's somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 pieces.
Yeah, I once I hit like 300, I started using spreadsheets to keep track because I didn't want to buy the same ones over and over again. And you're telling me you have over 1,500
Optimus Primes, yeah.
And no spreadsheet.
No, it's a long story. I keep wanting to build a database of all of this, but it's like, and I'm really brain damaged. I love repaints and stuff. So if I see something in a different color, and if it's a strong variant, I'll go ahead and do this. Buy the variants if they're. So all the Earthrises, I've gotten the dead one and the purple one and the and both of the Nemesises. I have to have the Japanese one and the American one. And
oh, so you collect outside of just the American releases then?
Yeah, I'm into all the Japanese stuff. I have all of that classic stuff. Maybe if we want to spin around here, this whole room is all some of it isn't pretty, but
okay, I see you got masterpieces. You got the Takara stuff over there.
You've got all of that great Japanese stuff over here. The Master Force stuff, the Star Convoys.
Okay, so you're not
picking
about
all these little tubs here.
Big old box of Twizzlers. Oh no.
These are filled with Kabaya candy toys. These are just Beast Wars ones here.
Are they made of candy? I'm so confused.
Well, in Japan they make these little gachapon kind of toys. Maybe you've seen them. They're generally a little PVC figure or.
Didn't they just release something like that with G.I. Joe? Or there were
and
those are
a little piece of candy in there with it.
Oh no, there was no candy. It was in
a stick of chewing gum or something like that. But you can see here, I love
with baubles.
Optimus Prime. You have this horrible thing where you have Nemesis Prime and regular Prime, and then there's the Shattered Glasses, and
you got the My Little Pony
sword, and it gets out of control. There's probably 10 or 15 MP10 variants just in the main line, and then you get into the third party stuff.
So you got the main line, the studio, the masterpiece, and then you're going off the reservation to other nations. So there is no upper end goal then. You're basically like, you just keep going until you can no longer keep going.
Well, in my brain, I want to write the ultimate book about every single Optimus Prime thing. You know, you've seen these people with, you know, a huge room of Popeye stuff, or ephemera characters, right?
Okay, so
Because with Transformers, you just can't collect all of it, and it's gotten to the point where you can't keep up with all of Optimus Prime. The movie just killed me, burned me out, man.
you know, it's what Pokemon, you got to catch them all. I mean, Transformers needs that type of slogan, I guess. Because I was going to ask, what qualities do you look for in Optimus Prime figures when you consider adding them to your collection? But apparently, as long as your name is Optimus Prime, you're good with it. But have you ever passed on a figure? Have you gone, you know what, not that one?
Oh, yeah. I'm not a big fan of the movie stuff, and there's a huge amount of it. It's kind of the big hole in my collection. So in general, I'll get the really nice premium stuff, but Revenge of the Fallen and Age of the Extinction and stuff, there's so many, and they're so they're so similar, it's hard for me to focus on that. But everything else I love, especially anything Japan, Japanese made, exclusives, things like that, I love.
What Optimus Prime figure or figures that you may have missed out on or wish existed that you would like to add to your collection?
Well, there's elemental pieces. I would love to have that gold trophy Prime. Maybe you've seen that, the one on the
yeah.
They were actually going to reissue that as a mass market release, but it was crowdfunded and it didn't get enough supporters, so they canceled it.
Well, if you've been to Big Bad Toy Store and Hasbro Pulse, they currently have the Lagoon figures out for sale.
No, I'm not talking about the Lagoon figures. I have those. I'm talking about this. It's a trophy figure. If you look at the Daily Prime, there's a feature on it. There's one on eBay right now for $30,000. So
holy crap! Okay.
This was a special employee thing that they gave to employees and retailers. It's a gold G1 Optimus Prime on a trophy base with a little plaque on it, and then later they were given out as a Japanese kids magazine lucky draw.
Okay, so basically what you just said is you need a GoFundMe for that trophy.
And then there's various lucky draws I'd love to have, you know, that were these all gold ones, or there's the some of the Cybertron, not Cybertron. I can't remember the name, but I'd love to have some of the lucky draws, and you know.
What about the BaCon stuff? Were you able to get the stuff you wanted from BaCon?
I have almost all of the BaCon stuff. There's 2 pieces actually left that 3 that I can't bring myself to pay the crazy $800 or $1,000 or more for it. The Sentinel Prime, which I had for a while, I burned out on collecting in the middle of the whole Bayverse thing, and I sold a lot of stuff I had. So that Sentinel Prime and there's a couple others. I need that Toxitron made from the Combiner Wars Prime, but I just don't want to spend $600 on a toy like that.
Do you have like an upper price limit? Like once it reaches this price, you're probably never going to get it?
No, it depends on the toy. If it's something that I think is a good price for it, and I know it's worth having, and you know, I try not to get into that rabbit hole.
How did you get involved with TFormers?
TFormers is an interesting story, actually. Once I became totally enamored with using eBay and stuff like that, I actually opened my own little toy shop here in the same room. So, you know, in the late 90s, eBay was a neat way to buy and sell stuff. So I started TFormers for my store. And I got through one Christmas that was very busy, and I decided that this was not a trade that I enjoyed. I had a good job as a computer programmer, and the sheen of doing retail wore off quickly. So I just continued the site because I was posting all of that information about new product anyways. And so in 2001, that was a very new idea to have a dedicated fan site. And so what was just started out as a casual hobby grew into that. Here we are.
Okay. So on TFormers, you have a feature named the Daily Prime or the Daily Optimus Prime. So how did that come about?
Well, you know, I feel really dumb because I ran the site for 20 years, and I've been collecting Optimus Prime for at least pretty solidly for 15 years with some gaps in there. And it was only when the pandemic hit and it seemed like everything just was going to be kaput, right? Nobody was going to have any jobs. There wasn't going to be any advertising or anything going on. Or so I said, well, I might as well do something to bide my time if I'm going to be on lockdown for a while. And I just started sorting through my collection and doing a kind of like a diary thing, and to kind of keep my mind off of things and keep other people's mind off of things. And here we are, we're coming up on a year.
And you basically have, based on, like you said, about 1,500, you got about 5 years of content on the Daily Optimus Prime.
Well, you know, really, there's way more than that. At first, I thought, you know, when I start going into this is going to be just kind of going over all the major stuff really quickly. But there's actually a lot of different juxtapositions, right, that you can look at things like Halloween. You can look at all of the scary Optimus Primes, or for the New Year's, there's a tradition of these New Year edition toys that they've classically made for Transformers, and a lot of them generally are Optimus Prime. So it's been very interesting to discover different ways that you can tap into these things and celebrate what he is and what he does. And for better or worse, I did one Daily Prime this year post that was inventory of all the Optimus Prime toys released this year, and it was over 80. So right there, that's a good chunk of my year just keeping up with the new stuff that comes out, right? And I'm not even caught up with all the Earthrise and stuff like that. So
I have to ask then, when you collect Optimus Primes, is Ultra Magnus in the collection since he sometimes typically follows and uses the same mold?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and it's a frustrating one because that adds a lot more toys that you may or may not want to acquire, and they generally are also expensive too.
Did you?
And then you have that same case with Nemesis Prime, and now Shattered Glass Optimus Prime, and now they're doing Dead Prime. You know, so you've got all of these kind of offshoot figures that can kind of fall into that ring, and then Star Convoy and Leo Convoy and Optimus Primal. So it's a lot of stuff.
Okay, so do you have any content or on other outlets, and how can people find more about your content?
Well, I try to do we're updated as daily with all of our posts on the major social networks. Facebook is at /TFormers.com, and I believe Twitter is the same, TFormers_com. One of those or the other.
I believe it's just
and you'll include those links too, yeah. I'm sure. And then the best way to go is just to TFormers.com. We've got our daily posts on there, and if you want to check out the Daily Prime, I try to do a little informational part of the Daily Prime. So it's not just the image. You can go in there and read a little bit of history, and if I try to put in enough information, if you ever want to find the item and add it to your collection, I try to have the right name in there and the date and who made it and things like that. So it's actually useful for other collectors.
Okay. So one last thing, is there anything else you'd like to add that maybe we didn't talk about today?
Well, everyone should collect Optimus Prime because he's the best Transformer. No, really. Don't collect Optimus Prime. It sucks. Go away, you know. No, really. I have a great time with all of this. And just like what we're doing right now, I think really the best part of Transformers is meeting other fans and sharing what you love, and there's a lot of community aspects of helping each other find the toys they want, finding out how to use the toys they want, what are the toys they want or not. And it's really great how everyone takes their time and energy to create reviews and do these streams and interviews like this to help share the love of the Transformers.
Okay. Well, thank you for talking to me today. And for everybody who is watching, again, TFormers.com is the website. On Facebook, TFormers.com. On Twitter, TFormers. And YouTube, of course, TFormers TV, which before we went on, you did mention that YouTube and Instagram, which is Instagram is TFormers_com, are rarely updated, but the website is definitely the place to go.
Yes, that is our primary destination.
Thank you for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you for checking out our content. Before you leave, please remember to click like and then subscribe. If you want to receive notifications, do not forget to enable them by clicking on the bell. Then afterwards, check out our social media at HaslageNet and our website at haslage.net.